You're listening to Bookmarked, a young adult book podcast brought to you by seventhpage.com. Well, welcome to Bookmarked, seventhpage.com's brand new young adult book podcast, where we're going to talk about awesome young adult books. And this is our pilot episode, and I'm joined here with three awesome girls who are going to come and discuss books with us. So let's go ahead and do some introductions. Addie, we'll start with you. Maybe just talk about who you are, where you're from, are you going to school, just the basics.
Well, my name's Addie. I live in California. I live in San Bernardino, which is about an hour east of Los Angeles. I am in school. I'm in my last year of college. So hopefully by June I'll be graduated.
Awesome.
I'm studying anthropology, which is basically like studying cultures. Nobody else does that.
Yeah, I don't know many people who study anthropology.
It's like a tiny bunch of us.
Okay, that's cool. As long as you're happy doing it. I don't know, for me it kind of sounds like I wouldn't do it.
It's a bit different, but I like it.
That's
fun.
Super cool. What's your favorite book?
I don't have a favorite book. I think I would have to say like my favorite series is the Harry Potter series because it's what got me to reading in the first place.
Yep, definitely. I can understand that one. Awesome. Now, Ariana, why don't you introduce yourself?
All right. Well, my name's Ariana. I live in Virginia. I'm a senior in high school right now, so I'm going to be graduating soon. I want to study journalism when I get into college. And my favorite book, I have so many, but right now it's Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard.
Very nice.
It's a good one. I really like that book.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Let's go on. And Lucy, she's from New Zealand. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, hi, I'm Lucy. I live in Wellington, New Zealand, which is the capital of the country. I'm year 12 at school this year, which means I think it's junior in America. So, yeah, I'm a junior. I want to be an actress when I'm older. So, drama is a big thing for me. My favorite book would have to be Catching Fire, but my favorite series is definitely The Fifth Wave. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Addie writes for seventhpage.com, so that's our main website, where we do book reviews and go over all sorts of different books and stuff like that. Lucy writes for fifthwave.net, which is one of the child sites, one of the network sites of seventhpage.com. And Ariana, you have a Twitter account that's devoted to Fifth Wave. Why don't you go ahead and plug that? Let everybody know what it is that you do on there.
Well, I'll just post news about the Fifth Wave, about the books, the movie coming up, and I'll just tweet quotes and sometimes reaction stuff. And then I also did a book review on the second book, and I plan to do it on the third book. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, we're definitely happy to have you here because we're going to be talking about the Fifth Wave today because there was some big news concerning the Fifth Wave that happened over the past couple of weeks. Really quickly, again, I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Saul. I am from Arizona, where it's super hot, but I'm actually living in Utah right now, going to school, where it's super cold. There's like snow on the mountains and stuff, and I'm not used to that. But I'm enjoying it, and I am actually studying journalism. So,
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that is something I've definitely been interested in. So yeah, this should be fun for all of us, and I've been looking forward to this experience podcasting. So let's go ahead, quickly explain what we're going to do in this podcast. since this is our first episode, we're kind of experimenting a little bit. We don't know, we don't have the format concrete yet. So throughout the next few episodes and stuff, we might have different segments or be trying out different things. Today we're just going to have two main segments, and that's going to be going over news stories, and we're also going to have a main discussion. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with the news stories. The first one, like I said earlier, is going to be about the fifth wave, and that is the fact that the fifth wave book 3 title was revealed, I guess officially a couple days ago.
I guess it was leaked at first, and then he had to take it down, and then he re-said it on Instagram, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
The way it kind of happened was, I think it was on a Sunday, somebody tweeted the fifthwave.net account, and they had a screenshot of the Goodreads webpage for the fifth wave book, and apparently the title was there along with the synopsis. So I went ahead and I wrote an article on fifthwave.net announcing it. But the weird thing about it was that the publisher and Rick Yancey, the author, they hadn't made any sort of statement about it. And you would think that they would like be super excited to reveal that, and I didn't hear anything at all. And so I remember I emailed Rick Yancey's team. I was like, "Can you guys confirm this?" And I didn't hear anything back. And then a few days later, we go on Goodreads and Amazon, and the title has been removed, and it's untitled. And now a couple days ago, Rick Yancey went ahead and revealed it on his website. So what do you guys think happened? Why do you guys think that?
Well, I think that someone on Goodreads was like, maybe someone in his team leaked it, and then, I don't know what happened there, but someone probably leaked it, and then it got out. He got probably mad and probably took it down, and then he was like, oh, well, most people are going to find out because of social media, so I'll just put it out. So I think that's what happened. So, yeah. And then now we have the title, and it's a good time.
Yeah, so Ariana, why don't you go ahead and share with everyone what the title is?
It is The Last Star. I love that name.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do some reactions. Addie, have you actually read The Fifth Wave? I don't know if...
I haven't.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard a lot about it, but this being my last year in college, it's kind of hard to try and fit in like reading just for fun, other than just like working on papers and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, I am desperate to like get my hands on some like just fun reading material that has nothing to do with school. And The Fifth Wave is like definitely like on my top, like it's like the first one on my list, especially because I love reading series instead of just like solo books. I like there's like so many books I just want to read so desperately that I have no time to. I'm just like, spring break needs to get here so I can just read and read and read.
Amen.
Well, that's definitely what I think we can all hear. We can all suggest to read The Fifth Wave. We love that book. And the first one, I love the first one. The second one's still really good too. But
I have it here.
Yeah, for those who are in the podcast, they're not going to see that, but Lucy's got her webcam on, and she's got her Fifth Wave book in hand, ready to go. That's awesome.
Ready to go. And I have the Infinite Sea as well.
And the Infinite Sea, yes, both really good books. So Ariana, what did you think when you first read that title, The Last Star?
Well, you mean before like it was officially announced?
Yeah, when you first heard it.
I was confused because I was seeing it all over Twitter. I'm like, what? I missed the announcement of this or something? And I really liked it. And then I went to look in the Infinite Sea because I think I remembered it was one of the sections in there, and I saw it was in Evan's point of view. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Lucy? What did you think?
I was really happy with the name because in Infinite Sea, there's the third part is called The Last Star. So I was like, ooh, it's a good name, and I was really happy. And I saw it was like Evan's point of view, so I was like, yes. And I don't know, it just made me really happy that they picked like such a good name for it because it had been mentioned in the second book. So I was very happy about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. In the video that Rick Yancey released, where he officially releases the title, he mentions that if you've read The Infinite Sea, the name should be familiar to you. So I did like what you guys just did and talked about. I went into The Infinite Sea. I looked it up. It's a section where it's from Evan's point of view. But I honestly have no idea what that means. There are a couple. I went on my Kindle and I like searched for the last star and everything, and I was trying to figure out, what does it mean? What is he alluding to? And that's where I was like super confused. I mean, so what do you guys think? Is the last star a thing? Is it a person? What do you guys think about that?
I think the last star is a person. I think it's going to be Evan, to be honest.
Yeah, because I'm just worried like he's gonna do something to Evan.
Yeah. I don't want anything to happen to Evan. He's my favorite.
Mine too.
Him and Teacup, they're my favorite. If anything happens to either of them, I'm going to be very upset because...
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, don't ever read Game of Thrones. I read that one, a couple months ago, and yeah.
Oh God.
Awesome.
Yeah. My mom's...
Go ahead.
My mom started watching the Game of Thrones series, so she's like, "What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?" And I'm like, "I'm not telling you because you have to wait. Wait, or you can read the books." But
Yeah, those are definitely good books. We're gonna talk a little bit more about those. Part of our main discussion, actually. But yeah, so that's all there is, I think, about the fifth wave right now. That was the biggest news. Other things that are going on in the fifth wave fandom. There's obviously the movie. Which I believe is completed filming, so they're now in post-production. So that's really cool. So we're excited for that. Otherwise, I think it's just a waiting game for the cover of The Last Star. I believe we already know the release date. It's in September, if I remember correctly.
It's so far away.
It seems like far away, but so we're all excited. And of course, this year for Fifth Wave is going to be awesome because the movie does come out January 2016. So that means all the promotion is going to happen later this year. So I would say expect the trailer possibly summer, fall. Again, still a wait, but we're going to be seeing a lot of cool things coming really soon. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
So moving on, the next news piece, our second news piece, we're only doing 2 news pieces today, but it's about a different book to film adaptation, and that is Insurgent. Addie, are you excited for this movie?
I am. I'm really hoping I can go to the premiere. I wasn't last year. For the first one, I managed to go to the location for the premiere, and I had a really, really bad experience with the security guard. I was talking to another blogger, and she's like, "They're still giving out wristbands. Ask for so and so." And I asked for that guy. I was so rudely treated. Like, I wasn't given a wristband, and as I was walking to my car, I saw them giving out wristbands to other people.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I had driven out. It was about an hour. It was in LA. I mean, living in near LA has kind of its perks. But so I'm really hoping. I know the premiere for Insurgent will be in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they'll have one here in LA as well. And so hopefully I'll be able to go to that.
Definitely.
Hope that works out for you. Was this part of like the official premiere, or was it part of the national tour? Because remember, they did a national tour where they like went to a bunch of different cities and screened the movie.
No, this was like the actual thing, like not the screening.
Okay.
Like Veronica was there, the cast was all there.
That's pretty insane. Yeah, I remember I went to one of the screenings, and it was one of those red carpet screenings, and I believe we had Jai Courtney and Miles Teller there. And I got some stuff signed from Jai Courtney, and I gave it away on Faction Hub. But that was also a really bad experience as well, because they had told all these people, they sent out these emails like, oh yeah, you'll get into the movie, you have a ticket. And then when we got there, it was actually a press showing, and so about like 50 people were able to get in, and I was like number 49. So I barely got in. I was on the front row, and I watched the movie I had like neck cramps afterwards. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy experience as well. But yeah, Insurgent comes out next month. I think I could be wrong. Maybe
next
you
month.
guys know.
Yeah.
It's March 20th, right?
Yeah, March 20th. The premiere in New York is the 16th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've been seeing online, there is possibly going to be one in LA as well, and that'll be on the 17th. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's coming soon, and they are in full force with the promotions, the advertising for this movie. That's going to be one of the things that we're going to talk about right now with the news, as far as news-wise goes. One of the things was, okay, so ever since the first full trailer came out, there's been this box that they've been showing in the trailers, and apparently it's going to move the story forward. I don't know, but as far as I remember, and it's been a while since I read Insurgent, but as far as I remember, that's not in the books.
Yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure, because I remember reading the series when I was on vacation, and I read it at least 6 times, and I'm just like, what is this box? I don't remember it.
Yeah, me too. I read it and I saw the trailer and I was like, hold on, that's not in the book. What is going on? I got so confused. Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's been I know a lot of people have been talking about that because they're making a really big deal about it in the trailers, which makes us think that it's a really big deal in the movie itself, which makes us think that they've changed a lot of things for the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know, is that a good or a bad thing in your guys' opinion? I mean, I guess it depends on whether or not you liked Insurgent as a book. Do you think it's going to improve the movie or hurt it? Sorry?
I think it's a bad thing. I hate when they change things from the book. And, I read the article about what they plan to do with the box in the movie, and it's so much unlike the book, and I hate it.
Yeah, I haven't read any articles, but I feel like they're making such a big deal of this box in just the trailers alone. It might change the way, the flow of the story as it goes into the third film.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the box is just going to take over the movie, and people who haven't read the books are going to be sitting in the cinema like, this is so cool. The box is maybe such a good idea, but then the people who have read the books are going to be sitting there what have you done to the movie? This is not how it's meant to happen. And then when it just kind of annoyed me that they put this box in there. It's it's not a part of the storyline. What are you doing? Just take it out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I saw come up. There was an interview with Shailene Woodley, and I think it's on Faction Hub, and she was talking about this box, and that's essentially the idea that I got. It's going to be, or no, she was saying something like only a Divergent can open it up, and that a special type of Divergent has to be the one to open it up. So I don't know, I guess her genes are even more special than everybody else's, but. It sounds really weird, but one of the things that happened was Veronica Roth, the author, she saw the movie, and she gave her opinion on it. Do one of you guys want to, I put it in the Google Doc, one of you guys want to read what she actually said, maybe just the bolded parts?
Okay, I've got it here.
All right.
She goes, I know some of you are probably apprehensive because, as the trailers have revealed, there are a few clear differences between the book and the movie. I shared the apprehension walking into the screening room, but I walked out of the movie relieved and excited. Insurgent, the book, has a complicated plot, a lot of moving parts, and a lot of ups and downs. That sort of thing can work in a book, but if it's translated directly to the screen, it makes for a messy, confusing movie. The changes were made streamline the story. The changes that were made streamline the story so it makes sense for this new format. In other words, they work. So she was happy with it, but the box still just kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as Saul said. Shailene said that only a special kind of Divergent can open the box. It kind of gets me thinking about the third book. When they just find out their gene family tree. How does that work out with the box?
And especially with the last book as well, like, I'm not going to spoil it because people might not have read it, but, like, the last book, it's not going to make sense as well. You're going to be watching the movie, and it's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, so that's definitely a big concern for a lot of initiates the Divergent fandom. One of the things, I don't want to be cynical or anything, but do you think she just says that, like, oh, the changes are good for the sake of the promotion of the movie, or do you think, like, that's her actual opinion? Did she walk out of the movie really happy with how they did it?
I mean, I've met Veronica twice at a book fest, and just from seeing like her demeanor and how she talks about her book, I feel like she's just saying it just as part of the promotion to keep things going. But I don't know. It's just my opinion that she's just saying it for the sake of keeping the peace and going along with the promotion, while having her own like reservations about it.
Yeah, I feel that's true because I don't know if you'd be too happy if they just added something completely new to your book and you're just sitting there like, this is not my idea. I didn't want this like it, and they've kind of changed it, and it's kind of annoying for her, I feel, because she's gone and spent all this time writing this book, and now they've been like, oh, well, your book is too messy and it doesn't flow. We're going to put this in so everyone understands it better. And she's just, I don't know if she's happy with that or not, but...
Yeah.
I guess
well, regardless of what ends up, or how the movie ends up turning out, it looks like it's going to make a lot of money at the box office. So a report just came out saying that it's going to make $57 million, I believe, opening weekend. Or opening day, I think it's opening weekend. They're expecting it to make $57 million at the box office, and I believe Divergent made $54.6 million its opening weekend. So they're expecting actually a much larger audience going to see this movie, which is really interesting because I feel like normally the way it works is the first movie gets a lot of people, and then the second movie doesn't get as many people, and it doesn't like spike up until you get to the last movie.
Well, I feel like in this case, like like with this like trend of like trilogy movies, like like The Hunger Games and now with Divergent, like at first, like to me, the way I see it is like the first movie doesn't have that much of an audience because it's mainly like book fans, and maybe one or two, and then like some fans who come for the actors, or like they're hot, so I'm gonna go watch it. And then afterwards, like they like the movie, but they don't feel the need to read the books. So then more people just come to see the movie without reading the books. I think that's why they say it's expected to make even more money.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something we're going to be hearing a lot more about, and maybe in the future, if we do well with these podcasts, we can have an episode kind of reacting to Insurgent and see what we all think about it. So we'll definitely come back to Insurgent in the future. With that said, we're going to move on to our main book discussion, and our last discussion really kind of segues in to our main book discussion, which is actually book-to-film adaptations. So, like, do we like them? Are they done well? Are there some that aren't done well? Obviously, I think we all agree that there are. What kind of things make them work? So, Ariana, what do you think? Do you like the idea of books being turned into movies?
Yeah, I do, but if they're done well, if they completely change every single thing about the book, then no.
Yeah. What are some that have? What are book adaptations that have done well, in your opinion?
Me personally, I think that the one that I found that was so well done was Catching Fire, because first we had The Hunger Games, which in my opinion was a big flop, because I just didn't enjoy it, and it didn't have me on the edge of the seat like the book did. And then in Catching Fire, I was going in like, oh, they've got a new director, hopefully he does it better. And he did, and it was so good, and I was just so happy that he finally, like, they stuck to the book. There were moments in this where I was thinking, I remember reading this scene. Like, this is the book in front of me. Like, I can see it.
I have to agree. When I first saw the first Hunger Games movie, I have to admit I sort of got motion sick because of the shaky cam. Like, I get it, it's kind of like Katniss's point of view, but pretty sure there wasn't a smoother way to get that through the audience.
Definitely.
And I have to agree. I mean, Gary Ross with the first movie did a good job, but Francis just did an amazing job.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
well done.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And yeah, I definitely had the same reaction. I saw Hunger Games, and I didn't see it in theaters for some reasons. But when I saw it, I remember thinking that, what was my thought? I liked it, but I thought it could have been better. And I think the thing that bothered me the most, which is funny because I'm not usually one to buy into the romance bit, was that they didn't play up the Peeta Katniss thing as much as I would have liked them to. Because for me, when I read Hunger Games, that was such a huge source of suspense. I mean,
definitely.
the end of the first part where he's like, "Oh, I came with the girl, that I love." I remember reading that book and just like freaking out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't quite have that same reaction when I watched the movie. But then
I feel like
Sorry?
I feel like they downplayed the romance, and it kind of... I love that part of the book.
Yeah,
all the little
exactly.
moments.
And for me, that's what made the book so good, and I felt like that's kind of what was missing from the movie. Whereas Catching Fire, it's just everything you guys said. Everything was so much better. The effects were better. The script was better. The actors were just as good, because really the actors for Hunger Games specifically have been awesome, in my opinion.
Definitely. Jennifer Lawrence.
But yeah, Jennifer Lawrence is awesome. And yeah, Catching Fire for me was definitely one of the best ones. But on the other hand, I'm curious to know like what you guys think about ones like Harry Potter, which has notoriously known for not following the books perfectly well. But I found that I still really liked them, and I think a lot of the fans still really liked them. So what do you guys think about that?
When I was a younger kid, I've watched all the Harry Potter movies to the point where I have to watch them alone because I will say the dialogue.
Me too.
I know them pretty well, and I think one of my biggest peeves when the movies first came out was, for example, they didn't have Peeves in the movie.
I know.
For me, I accepted the changes because J.K. was, she had her input, and she was like, you know what, I like these changes, I don't like these changes. They worked with her, and I guess, it was kind of a good, middle ground.
Yeah.
But definitely,
I didn't like
better.
I didn't like the fact that they made James and Lily, old. They're 21 in the books. They'd only get, a year with Harry. And in the movies, they just made them look so old, and they made it look like they had this perfect life together, that they were together for ages. And I just didn't like it. They were too old. And
I wish
just made the story sad.
When they were, movies typically make changes. I kind of wish one of those would have been maybe flashbacks to Harry's parents when they were kids and when they were at school. With Sirius and Lupin.
Yeah.
That would have been a good change to see.
See, this is what's funny to me is that those are all little details that I never even considered. I didn't notice that they did that until you guys just brought that up. And for me, my main complaints with the Harry Potter movies, and I have to say I love the Harry Potter movies. But for me, the big complaints were things like Prisoner of Azkaban, where they took out the Marauders storyline. Or the ending to Deathly Hallows Part 2, where Voldemort becomes glitter or something.
No, he has a
that.
human death. It says in the book he died like a mortal, like a human.
Yeah, so stuff like that was really weird for me. But that's just what's funny is we all watch the same movie. And we all have different opinions of what makes it good and bad, because what you guys were saying there about the ages of Lily and James, I never caught on to that. That's hilarious.
Another thing I wish they put in the movies was all the sass and the sarcasm.
Yes. No, and the other thing was Remus and Tonks' relationship. Because I remember David and I forgot her name, but the woman who plays Tonks, they were asked. They said, "What was the one thing that you wish they put in the movie?" And David goes, "Oh, our relationship, definitely," because that was such a fun part in the book. I know, and they didn't even put Teddy in it, and I was like, "What? They have a son."
I always hated that they didn't include that in the last movie.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, Harry's the godfather. He's meant to be looking after Teddy. Where is he?
Yeah, and well, obviously one of the things is that they can't include everything in a movie.
Yeah.
And so I know some people, for instance, they say, books shouldn't be turned into movies in the first place because the book was written to be read and not to be really seen or watched. And I don't know, I guess that kind of leads me to my next question. What are some really bad ones that you guys have seen? I don't know, like Ariana, what is one that you've seen that you cringe when you watch it?
Well, I haven't really seen a terrible one, but one that really bugs me is The Book Thief.
Okay.
They really changed a lot of things in that and left a lot of things out, and I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
we
me,
read it for
Book Thief-
English.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We read it for English, and then we watched the movie, and everyone was like, "This doesn't happen." Like, they didn't go into the whole death is the narrator, and that kind of annoyed me because that was such a big part of the book, having death as the narrator and looking over saying, "Humans haunt me." It's like that was real powerful to me, and they didn't put that in the movie as much as I would have liked it to. So.
Mm-hmm. For me, one of the things I noticed when I watched the movie, because I did read the book, and the book is kind of slow, but it was always interesting. I was still always invested in it. The movie just seemed boring and long, and that was one of my complaints with the Book Thief movie. It's still good, but I don't know if I would go and watch it again.
Yeah.
The only good part for me was Rudy, because perfect casting for Rudy, because he's so cute.
Well, what about you, Addie? Are there any bad movies, bad book-to-film adaptations, that just bother you so much?
Let me see. I'm turning to my... I remember. Twilight.
Twilight.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of the fans liked Twilight. What did you dislike about Twilight?
I got into it when I was in high school. When it was all the hype a couple years ago. I grew out of it. I'm now in the stage where I kind of make fun of it. I still like the books, but not as much as I used to. The first movie was horrible. The makeup on the Cullens, they looked like they had been doused in flour.
Yes, I agree. It's
horrible.
No.
Horrible.
And they just made Bella seem so whiny and weak, and it's she's actually a strong character.
Like that, I think is one movie where I think Stephanie Meyer sold out. Didn't put her foot down. Like J.K. Rowling did in the Harry Potter books. Didn't say this needs to be included. I don't like the way they look. You are the writer. You do have some say in it. But I feel like that was the most horrible. The first Twilight movie was so bad.
So it was part one of Breaking Dawn. That just dragged on. And
I actually
on.
haven't seen the Breaking Dawn movies yet. I just realized the other day I haven't watched them, and so I'm gonna have to go back and watch them. One of the interesting things about Stephanie Meyer in Twilight, though, was when she first published it. It was one of those books where the movie studios were interested right away. And I remember that MTV, I think it was, had wanted the rights to it, and they were going to just, destroy it. And so she did kind of put her foot down. She was like, no, I'm not going to give it to MTV.
I don't think any decent writer would give it their, a best-selling book to MTV. I mean, MTV TV shows, but not for movies. I mean, have you seen their movies?
No, I don't think
I think the only MTV has ever produced has got to be Freedom Writers, I think.
Really?
I think. But I think, and we're on Stephanie Meyer, I think one of the best film adaptations, in my opinion, is The Host.
Really?
Yes.
I know it got so much flack and people called it a flop, but I feel like it was I mean, the story is so beautifully written. It's one of the best books in my opinion, that I've read. And the movie, I feel as any movie is, it wasn't verbatim exactly like down to the every detail, but I feel like it was a really great summary of the book. It included the parts that were important, like it had the inner dialogue between Melanie and Wanda. I felt like that was one of the really, really good ones. I felt like that was honestly just one of the best film-to-movie adaptations.
That's interesting because I bought the book the day it came out. I remember I finished it last summer. For me, I could not get into it. And so that was like, what, 7 years or so? It took me to read that book.
9 years.
And then I watched the movie. It was on Netflix, and I started watching. I could not. I'm sorry. I just couldn't get into the host. But that's interesting that you really liked that one. So I guess my question would be, what, in your opinion, makes a good book-to-film adaptation? What is it about the ones that are really good that make them good?
I feel like it has to do with just, having a good director, having a team, like, directors, producers, it's like kind of like a package, like, like with Francis and like the Hunger Games, you have Francis and Nina and John and Suzanne, and they all work together. Yeah. And I feel like if you have a good, like, leading team of writers, you will get, the best out of your actors, even if they're not like A-listers. That's what I feel like happened with Twilight. I know I love Kristen Stewart; she's a great actress, but I feel like that the way that things were given to her, like in her script that were written, made her seem like that she was spineless, she was whiny, and in the book it's not like that. And Kristen is capable of so much more, so much better acting if you just give her the chance.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And also the screenplay as well, for me, like a good movie book adaptation is where they include dialogue from the book sometimes, like in the Hunger Games when President Snow and Katniss, they're talking in Katniss's house and catching fire, and they have that whole scene is just straight from the book, and it made me so happy because it was my favorite part, and I was like, thank you, like, screenplay and Francis Lawrence, like, you did such a good job at making this movie, like, come to life. Like, it was such a good job, and like Jennifer Lawrence and Donald Sutherland as well, like, they are amazing actors, so they just made it even better, and it made me so happy to go see Catching Fire because it was so good. I had low expectations at first because of what was the Hunger Games what I had with the Hunger Games, so I was like, I don't know if it's going to be as good, and I walked out and I'm like, I stand corrected, I'm sorry.
And see, at risk of being stoned, when I was younger, I always judged the book to film adaptions. I always based it off the loyalty to the book. And now I think I'm a lot more liberal in that sense. I don't mind if they make or add things as long as it's good. So, like, for example, Mockingjay Part 1. I personally absolutely loved that movie. And in my opinion, the best scenes in that movie are not in the book.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like where the people go and they blow up the dam, for instance. Like, stuff like that you mentioned.
So powerful.
But it's not actually like, you don't actually see it in the book. So things like that. I think if you're going to make changes in the movie, they just better be really good changes.
Yes, that's what I hope. That's the box and the Insurgent.
Yeah. But with that scene in Mockingjay, it was just so powerful because the Hanging Tree song is in the book, and they made it. The only thing that annoyed me is that they changed it from Necklace of Rope to Necklace of Hope. I was kind of like, really?
I didn't notice that until I think the Propo team pointed it out. Like, it was like Beatty or something. I was like, really? I kept hearing Rope.
Yeah. But I loved because they had the song was like word for word, and the fact that they played it over that dam scene, it just made it more powerful to watch. The fact that the revolution was happening, it was so good. It was just a really powerful scene.
And one of the things that I don't know if I worry about, maybe I'm just more curious to see how they do it, is with going back to the Fifth Wave. The Fifth Wave book itself is a lot of in Cassie's head. And you get so much of her sarcasm just based off of like what she's telling you. And like there are moments, I think if I remember correctly, in the first Fifth Wave book where like Rick Yancey actually wrote out WTF.
No, he did, yeah.
I remember just like loving that, and stuff like that I don't think will translate into the movie. And so like there's potential for change and differences, I think, in the Fifth Wave movie. I don't know, like Ariana, what do you think about that? Since you're one of our Fifth Wave experts, are you worried about anything that might happen, things that might be changed in the Fifth Wave adaptation?
Not really, 'cause I asked Rick Yancey, like, how close to the book are they sticking, and he assured me that they are going to be faithful to the book, so that has me a little relieved, and I think if they do make changes, it's not going to be anything huge to change the story at all, or to or leave anything out, and I'm happy about that.
What are you most looking forward to in seeing? What are you most looking forward to about the Fifth Wave movie?
Everything, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm excited because they cast Ben perfectly. Like, Nick Robinson is such a good actor, and he's the smile is just that Ben Parrish smile, and I was so happy because I watched Melissa and Joey, which he's in, and I remember thinking, I was like, this guy is going to be so good as Ben. He's just going to make him even more gorgeous, and I don't know, I'm just going to have a little. It was very good. And
so
going back to what you said,
you're looking forward to Ben Parrish then.
Yeah. But like what you said before about like the fact that the book is in Cassie's head, I just want them to add like the sarcasm, because she is a really funny character, and I love her like witty comments that she has in her head. That's like sometimes I wish I was like, why don't you get her to say it out loud so we can have that dialogue, because it's so funny. But yeah, I'm mainly looking forward to Ben Parrish.
For me, one of the scenes I loved the best in that book was the one where they're at the camp, and they put the children on the bus. Oh wait, Addie hasn't read this book.
Don't worry, I promise I will probably like not remember this until.
Okay, well, I'll keep it very, very brief then. You guys know what happens when they get on the bus and stuff. And for me, like, that was super suspenseful, and I'm really pumped for that. I hope they capture that suspense when they make the movie, because that is the other thing. Like, it's one thing to be loyal to the book and to use the lines that are used in the book, but if it like you can do that, I feel like that's what they tried to do with the Mortal Instruments, for example.
Yeah.
But it just was not a good movie, because it ended up being boring and clunky, and it just didn't work. And so I'm really hoping, and I have high expectations, and I do think they're going to do a really good job with the Fifth Wave movie. But I'm really hoping that that's not what happens with the Fifth Wave movie.
Yeah, because with the Mortal Instruments as well, like, they cast so old as well, and I think that was a big problem, is that they cast, everyone was in their 20s. There was no teenagers. It's like Clary's meant to be 15, Lily Collins was 23. It was like, you need the teenagers to be able to portray that teenage emotion, like that teenage love that Jace and Clary had for each other. Yeah. And Clary was too pretty as well. Like, the fact that I pictured her as like this ginger, freckly faced girl, and then Lily Collins is like this beautiful, like, she's flawless, like, perfect everything. And it's like, that's one of the reasons that Jace loved her in the book, is because she was not unattractive, but she was like not pretty to the point where she was beautiful. And in Jace's eyes, he just saw that as like, that was one thing. But then and they didn't have enough of Jace's witty comments. Like, the natural blonde thing was.
I feel like when I saw the movie, I feel like they only had maybe like, out of like all of like Jace's witty comments and sarcastic comments, they had maybe like 2% in the movie. And the book was so much funnier. It was so much more. What is going on? And I'm usually like, when people like, I mean, I tend to go, when I go see like a book made into a movie, I tend to go in with an open mind, because I mean, it is a film adaptation. They're adapting it to the screen. It's not, a translation. And that's what I always see. People are like, well, I don't like it. I'm like, it's an ad. They're fixing it, so you can see it on screen. It's not like a translation. You have like a week-long Harry Potter series because everything's 14 hours long.
Exactly.
That would be nice.
That would be nice, honestly. To be honest.
And I think that's what it boils down to. It's trying to balance out and reconcile this idea of being loyal to the book, capturing that same theme and the characters and everything, but at the same time being able to adapt it in a way that is exciting in its new format. And I feel like obviously that's something really hard to do. I've never done it, but when they do it well, it's awesome. But just like we said, catching fire and Mockingjay, in my opinion.
I can't wait to see the second part.
So we could talk about this
too.
for ages, probably like another hour. We're not going to, because I'm going to assume the listeners have lives. And things to do. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna close this show really soon. But before we do that, one thing that we're gonna try, it's a game, and maybe we could do it every week. I don't know. But it's essentially what I'm gonna do is read the opening line to a book, and you guys are going to try and guess what the book is. And hopefully in the future, I'm not always the one reading the opening line. Maybe somebody else could do it as well, and I could try and guess. For me, the big challenge with this is going to be I have no idea what books you guys have and haven't read. But I think
we'll just go
this
with it.
book. So hopefully it's not too
It'll
easy.
give us a list of books to read.
Yeah.
And then I can read them in a week,
That
and
would
then I'll
be
come
cool.
back.
That would be too easy to give a list. We're going to go ahead and try it. It could be fun. I've seen them do this on YouTube with the booktubers.
Yeah, I saw it.
But usually they take something from their bookshelf, which we can't do. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. How we're going to do it is we'll just go down the line. So Addie, you'll go first. I'll read it. You tell me what you think it is.
Okay.
And then Ariana and Lucy.
Sweet.
All right. So if you know the answer, don't blurt it out until it's your turn. All right. And I won't tell you guys if you're right or not until we've gone through all three of you. Okay. So the line is, I clasp the flask between my hands, even though the warmth from the tea has long since leached into the frozen air.
Catching Fire.
Okay. What about you, Ariana?
Catching Fire.
Okay, Lucy?
Yeah, Catching Fire.
Yeah, you guys all got it. See, I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that right. I would not have remembered that one.
I'm
It's just because The Hunger Games is my favorite series, so I know it by heart.
I almost, when I went to the Mockingjay premiere, which almost ended in disaster, because we've been in line, and just as there's like 5 people in front of me, and as we're getting to the line, the security guard's like, we have no more passes for you guys. You guys can't go up into the bleachers. And I'm just like, I have not been waiting 7 hours in line for you to tell me I cannot see this movie. I'm like, that theater holds at least 4,000 people. There are not 4,000 people on the bleachers. You better give me a ticket. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's no we'll see. You guys will get us tickets. And they ended up, and now Lionsgate came out and they're like, we're so sorry, guys. They gave us tickets to go see the movie into the theater. And they did like that pan overhead over the bleachers. There's space everywhere. I'm like, we would have fit there. But it was pretty cool.
Okay,
And
well,
what was the
basically,
line? I read pretty much almost all of Mockingjay. Like I've read these books quite a number of times.
Yeah.
that means I'm going to have to try and find something a bit more difficult.
Okay.
Maybe one of you guys can do it next time. But like I said, the big challenge is getting a book that we've all read. So yeah, we'll try that again in the future. We'll see how it goes. So with all of that said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. Thanks for being here for our first episode, to you three, and also to any listeners who are listening. You're our first listeners, and hopefully this turns into something really cool and awesome that we're going to do all the time. We don't know yet how often we're going to do it. I want to do it minimum once a month. But I would personally like to do it more than that. But we're going to see. That depends on schedules and stuff. We're definitely going to have more people hosting, other hosts, people participating on the show in the future. We've got a few writers for 7th Page who have expressed interest in joining us. They just couldn't make it to the show today. So they'll be with us in the future. Ariana, you're definitely welcome to join us as well, even though you're our guest. You've been awesome to have, and we're going to be talking about the Fifth Wave in the future as well. So.
Okay, I would love to join you guys.
That's awesome. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show, and maybe before we do that, why don't you guys tell everyone, if you want, where they can find you, like your Twitter handles. So yeah, people can, I guess, internet stalk you if that's something you want. Hattie, why don't you go ahead?
On Twitter, I am Fearless Hoovian, just spelled out normally, no funny letters or numbers. Just Fearless Hoovian. Just let me know that you guys have, heard the podcast, or, follow us on 7th Page. Yeah. Say hi.
And Ariana?
You can follow me on Twitter. My username is T5W_fans.
And that stands for Fifth Wave.
Yeah.
And Lucy?
You can find me, mine's Mrs. L. Stalinsky on Twitter, and go read some of the things that I post on Fifth Wave. I haven't posted in a while, but I have an idea of what I want to post as a new article, so hopefully that should be going up soon. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, just real sneaky, my Instagram is Sergeant Zombie, so all together, like no capitals or anything, just Sergeant Zombie. It's a pretty good page, if I may do say so myself. Yeah.
And
come find me.
If you guys want to follow me, my personal Twitter is at Saul Mark, so it's SAULMARQ, and you can find me there. I've been really bad at posting things on there, but if you want to see where I'm probably most active, it's on the 7th Page and the Faction Hub and the Fifth Wave Twitter accounts. So you got 7th Page, the number 7, THPAGE. You can follow 7thpage.com on Twitter there. Faction Hub is Faction Hub, factions from Divergent. And then Fifth Wave Fans, so the number 5, TH, then Wave Fans, all one word, also on Twitter. Also, follow us on Facebook if you can. You can go on Facebook, just search 7thpage.com. It should show up. And yeah, go ahead and like us on Facebook. Yeah. So, that'll be all. Thank you guys again for being here with us. And yeah, hopefully we'll do this again really soon. So, cool. Yeah. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to Addie, Lucy, and Ariana for joining us for our first episode ever. Also, a special thanks to our amazing writers at 7th Page, Faction Hub, and the Fifth Wave Network. I hope I'm not going to forget anyone, but there's Angus, Eleanor, Rebecca, Michael, and Stephanie, and that's not including the people that you heard on this podcast. If you want to support the show by following us on Twitter, please follow 7th Page's Twitter account. That's at 7th Page 7 with the actual number 7. Don't spell it out with letters. And also follow our network sites, Faction Hub, and fifthwave.net's Twitter account can be found at fifthwavefans. And for more information on Bookmarked, visit bookmarked.7thpage.com, where you'll find future updates and a feedback form, because we would really like to hear back from you. And of course, finally, with all of that said, I'd just like to say thank you for listening. Stay awesome and keep reading books. See you next time.